Good morning. See if I can find myself here. Okay. Pin to the top. Good morning, Susan. It's suggesting watch this on your TV so you can see it better. I'm doing it. I can't watch it from my TV. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Yvonne. Hope you all are well today. Hi, Karen. Good morning. Hope you all are doing well. Just trying to move a couple things out of my way. Let's see if I can make this stand up. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Karen. Hi, Christina. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all well today. Good morning, Mary. So exciting. We'll finally be able to order from this today. Woohoo! Look at all this good stuff in here. So many fun stamp sets. Look at the hippos and the unicorns in case you haven't seen them. So adorable. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Terry. Good morning. I think I saw Diana on there too. Hi, Anka. Hope you're well. Good morning, Sharon. So lots of fun stuff. This is adorable. I love these type of stamps. They're so pretty. And I think that's these are the distinctive. So many beautiful fonts. I love that one. I can't thank you enough. Good morning, Sherry. Thank you all for sharing. Oh my gosh, I have so many tabs here. I can't get my, that's probably the one part about the tabs. Maybe I should have put them at the top so I could have turned it. Good morning, Brina. Hi, Donna. Hope you all are well. Oh, this was another one that was really cute too. There's a seasonal wreath thing. Probably won't be able to find it now. And this one, can't wait to get this one. Adorable. So adorable. So hope you all are doing well today. Thank you guys all for joining me. I appreciate it. You just got done my YouTube from yesterday. Thank you for watching. I just saw your comment. You're welcome for making the mistake. I make the mistakes and waste the paper so you don't have to. It's my motto. So in case you missed it, I did a little kind of a redo with using the leftover sticker sheets for your stamps, your old stamps. So great way to recycle. But if you don't want to recycle, but I will because I like to recycle, they also have, look at this right here. This stuff. They have sheets, which people ask for, of cling adhesive so you can convert your clear mount stamps. So they listen, which is awesome. You have your list. I have my list. I've checked it thrice. I'm just waiting for noon Mountain Time, which is 2 p.m. here on the East Coast. So, and really quick, it says that it's going to be available after 3 a.m. Mountain Time. That's not accurate. They said, I think they put the wrong thing up. They said noon Mountain Time. So hopefully they're fixing that, unless there's going to be a surprise and maybe it's going to be ready sooner. But we don't waste paper. We repurpose. Exactly. Recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle, and give that card to somebody else. So lots of stamp sets. This one's really cute too. The goat. I know, Donna, you said you were going to order this one. I think the goat is super fun. Also have my nude nails still today. I actually ordered some, you keep adding. I ordered some of the Color Street nails from Gail. Gail is also a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So if you're into Color Street, you should check out her Color Street page because she got some stuff in. So I'm looking forward to trying that. Should be really fun. And one other thing I really like about the catalog that I think is super fun is that they'll put stamp sets that we already have with brand new ideas. So it's like, oh, never would have thought to use it in whatever that color would be. And another one that I think is going to be super fun, Jared said he's the goat. My grandfather was the goat, so Jared is not the goat. My grandfather was the goat. In case some of you don't know what that means, it's the greatest of all time. So that's something new the kids have come up with. But look at this triangle stamp set, which is fun. Got lots of fun stuff. But I want to tell you one other thing. Keep in mind. This is, oh, that's so cute. That's awesome. That's really nice, Amy. I can't wait to see it. So in the catalog this time, just kind of a little fair warning. It's a little strange the way some of the stuff is laid out. Like this, for example, is a Really Dear stamp set, but it also has dies. But kind of unless you really knew and went looking for it, and there's a bundle. So if you have questions, please ask, because a lot of the stuff is kind of laid out a little bit odd, if you ask me. So there are the dies. Hopefully you can see those. So it has Love You More Than, which is nice because you could say Love You More too. So that's another reason why I bought that one. And then it has a die for the pina colada, the coffee, the cookie, the chocolate, and then has lots of other words. So there's lots of things that are kind of separated. Thanks, Julie. Hi, thank you for sharing and watching. So before you purchase something, and I know this, yeah, it is different. It's a strange thing to tell somebody, but you might want to check the back for the bundles. Or punch bundles aren't really listed as simply as maybe you thought they would be. Let me get to my punch section. So they have a punch for the whole whale set. Who loves the whales? I love the whales. I think that's adorable. Let me see if I can get back there. So I'm going to show you just quickly. So they have the punches, but then if a punch has a bundle, it's on a different page. I don't know. So it's a little bit messy. Let's say that. You still haven't seen the catalog, Debbie? Oh my goodness. If you want to look on my website now, if you go to Rachthestamper, there is an updated catalog, and if you click it, it will open the PDF directly on your page. So, yeah, I know, it's just too small, Janet. It's hard to, I think it's hard to see, because quite honestly, I really liked it when they did it bigger. Because then what I feel like people do, and this is why I am telling you about it, is I feel like they order them separate and then you don't get the discount. So, I don't know. I just like to warn people just in case. A few of the things I think personally would be nice to be a little bit bigger. But, let me show you a couple other ones that are my absolute favorites. I'm going to show you this. These are on my must order list. I already got the birds. Haven't used them yet, but I got them. And you know, I am always very well tied to my grandparents. If something in there reminds me of them, I cannot wait. I bought this one. Well, I won't say I bought. I will be getting this one. Aren't those cards gorgeous? So I can't wait to do this one. That one's really cool. It's very windy outside today. We're going to be swimming. Rainbow Stamper and I are going to be swimming. If you see my attire, I look like I dressed up, but it's really just my swim cover-up. And where's the other one that was super cute? I think it's in the, probably in the flower section. I might have to look it up 1 second. 135. So growing up, and I'm sure this isn't a Maryland thing, but growing up, there always used to be Queen Anne's lace growing everywhere. But specifically when I went to stay with my grandmother who lived in Western Maryland, and we always used to pick Queen Anne's lace. So they have a Queen Anne's lace, which is a beautiful stamp set, and I love the fonts. I think are so nice and what's written. So that reminds me of Granny, but my grandmother's name was Anna, so it's like I get a 2-for-1. Since they took away Blueberry Bushel, because I called my grandmother Busha in Polish, which is grandmother. So they took away Bushel, but at least I still have Granny Apple Green, and now I have this one that is like a combo. I know I'm crazy today. Do you like the Zoo Globe? Yes, and the whiskey one is definitely on mine. The only thing I'm going to change about that whiskey one, and I was going to buy a stamp set, but I thought I'm just going to write it because I think it should say being a parent is whiskey business. More specifically, being a mother is whiskey business, because I know a lot of mothers that might need to have a nice finger or two of whiskey afterwards, because especially these homeschooling days, woo-hoo. There you go. But look at those. That is the snow globe bundle. Now has a zoo bundle, which is flippin' adorable. So that's really cute. So thanks for mentioning that one. But I really do like, I know, Donna, I talked about you earlier. I know you were going to love the hippos, but the unicorn is really cute. I also got, God, I keep saying I didn't get anything yet, but I'm really excited. Seaside View is another really pretty one. And I really like what they did with this card here. with Framed for You. And you can see it has the little antique corners. So there's probably going to be a lot of stuff that may potentially go to a hopefully short, especially after homeschooling. Amen. A short, maybe out of stock, because I think people are like really itching for some new fun stuff, especially just a nice distraction to get away from the world. So there is going to be a limit of 1 ink refill for customers and for demonstrators for the new ink colors. But supposedly they're going to be available, so hopefully. And this is another one I've been dying to show you guys, but I haven't been able to replicate it good enough yet. Isn't that beautiful? They did that with Stampin' blends. I'm going to have to redo that card. I just have not had, you know, I'm home all the time, but I just haven't had enough time. So anyway, today what we're going to do is we're going to work with, hi Stacy, good to see you. We're going to work with, oh, Adrian, I just saw your name. Please do me a favor and PM me your mailing address again. I have your stamp set that you want, and I cannot, for the world of me, find your address. I had it written down, and I don't know what I did to it. So I owe you this. So if you could please PM me your address or email it to me, either one, rachthestamper@gmail.com. I appreciate it. So today we're going to be working with the World of Good bundle, which I kind of did some pre-stuff with it. I embossed the copper foil with, what is this called? Hold on. Some of these, I still have all the papers here because I cannot remember the name. This one is right here. It's the Old World Paper embossing folder. So this one is a 3D folder. So really cool, lots of texture. Now, unfortunately, hopefully, maybe you have your hands on some of this. This is the black foil paper. This was retired as of yesterday. Maybe it still might be in the clearance rack once the site comes up. I don't know. Who knows? It's your guess is as good as mine. But anyway, I did it with the black, which I thought was really pretty. Gives a lot of texture. I also did it with the silver. And when I did it with the silver, I did it 2 different ways. So here's one other thing you can do. Is you can do, this one is debossed and this one is embossed. So one of them is indented and the other one is raised. So you can put your paper in different ways. So I just put in a whole bunch of different paper and embossed it. And then the other thing is, I showed this yesterday on YouTube and it is kind of hard to see, but you can even do it with glitter paper or glimmer paper or whatever the heck it's called. But there's only some of this. I don't know. This might have retired. I need to check my, it's hard when we have these transition times, but it's really cute. Turned out pretty cute. So we're going to make a card with that. Actually, I think we're going to make 2, maybe 3, because the other thing I got, and I thought these would be very nice to use. These are the Memories and More card kits. So show you, these are the opposite sides. So these are the smaller ones. And here's another one. And here's one more. So we're going to make a couple cards with these, and I thought we could do that with those, maybe with some of the embossed stuff, and then we'll see. They only have rainbow. Thank you, Donna. It's very hard to tell. There's 2 different kinds of rainbow glimmer paper, but here's my thinking. Again, I don't know. I'm just guessing. The holiday catalog will actually be coming out early this year because the way the catalog transitions, they're trying to move it a little earlier, which I think is really good for the future. It'll be a lot for like the next 2 months, and it's going to feel like, ah. Bumblebee ribbon, I believe, is on back order because I ordered it the other day, but I don't know because I can't check anything right now. So I think it's still on back order, Kathleen. But, completely got distracted with what I was going to say. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. What was I going to say? I don't even know. I totally forgot. Oh, holiday catalog. So the holiday catalog will be coming sooner, but the good part is in the future, specifically for next year, we'll actually pre-order a little bit sooner for both, which is good. And then you'll be able to start using things to make fall stuff or teacher stuff in August. You'll be able to order it. So by the time we hopefully go back to school in September, it will be available. So I'm hoping that's good. Thank you, Terry. I'm like need to have a dry erase board with all of my thoughts. I'm grabbing them in bubbles. But anyway, and I'm seeing Stampin' Up! Is putting some of their sweet videos on YouTube, so that's fun. So hopefully that means maybe by the time I'm done, I'll be able to do my pre-order, but we'll see. Oh my gosh, I know, gnomes, right? Because the tree punch, hopefully there'll be some sort of gnome. So we will see. The new ink refills they're supposed to be available down it, but they're just a limit of 1, so we'll see. So I'm going to check one more thing real quick here. And give me just 1 sec. I just want to do one thing. Make sure I'm not losing my mind. Okay, yeah, so it's still down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip you guys down. So if you don't, your school year starts in August. Oh my gosh, when do they get out of school? Because Rainbow Stamper school ends Wednesday. Granted, he's just in kindergarten. I think it goes a teeny bit later for the rest of the school. Maybe like 2 days. But a speaker on my neck. That'd be funny. Speaking of, have you guys ever seen Ralph Breaks the Internet? Because it reminds me of the guy that had the little brother. He could just whisper in my ear, "You were talking about catalogs." Let's digress. But we watched Wreck-It Ralph. And then we watched Ralph Breaks the Internet, which I love. So those are really funny. Yes, and the velveteen paper. That's another really good one too. Okay, so I'm going to flip you guys around. So if you get a little... Oh my goodness, you start in August? How do you even have... Oh, end in May. Well, I guess that's a little bit better. That doesn't seem like too much summer. That kind of makes me sad for the kids. All right. Let me go back here. Why are my comments not showing up? There they are. Okay. July 13th for the Bumblebee. Thanks, Stacy. Appreciate it. I have some people here helping me out with my Oh, you do finish early. Okay, so at least that's good. So we are settled. Everything is settled here. I'm going to do my very best to attempt to keep up with the comments here. I apologize if I miss anything. Let me see if I can turn this down just for a minute so we don't have to hear any of that. Okay, so the World of Good Sweet, and I did really well. I actually labeled them so I could get right to it. It has a lot of stuff. If you buy the entire suite, you get one of everything. The only thing I didn't get because it wasn't available in pre-order was the brass foil sheets, which I'll show you what those look like real quick. I did order them though since then, so they're really pretty. The brass is in the front. It's definitely a lot lighter than the gold, but we'll see in person. And there is the rainbow glimmer paper and the velveteen paper pack. And one other thing I was going to mention is I have a feeling that when the holiday catalog comes out, that maybe they might bring back some of the glimmer paper. Maybe. I don't know. I really don't know, so I'm not going to pretend like I know, but I'm just taking a guess. Maybe that'll be like something they have around the holidays only. So here is also, I'll show you this before we get started. Here's the World of Good DSP. It's really pretty. This actually is a 12 by 12. So that's the opposite sides. And you have this. This one's really neat because it fits into a whole globe sheet, but it also has astrological figures on it, which is really, really cool. And then this side looks kind of like a flat globe. Really cute. Rocky Mountains. So there's Sitka, Alaska. I remember that from, what is that movie with Sandra Bullock and gorgeous Ryan Reynolds? Good Lord, he is handsome. This also has some nice accenting of the copper foil. And then the other side is a nice color as well. The paper is really awesome. I really like all the paper that I've seen so far. This one, same thing. It has Tropicus, so it has a lot of the constellations on it. And then it has also the brass foiling, so it's very pretty. And this one has globes, and it does have both sides. So it has this is Africa, Europe, Australia, and then North and South America. And then the other side is pretty generic, so you can pick which one you want. I think that's kind of nice, though. And then we have the grids, and then the green with the continents. I really like all this paper. I think it's really, really pretty. So, those of you who participated in my paper share, thank you. And as soon as I get everything ordered and then get it here and cut up, I will send it directly out to you. This also has, nope, that's not it. here it is. This also has a really, really nice ribbon. And this one is called Faux Suede Trim. So it's a really nice ribbon. It's really pretty. And then it also has the antique corners and the slides. So you could use these for pictures. The corners. You can see that. They're kind of small. And then the slides, the ribbon actually fits through here. So I did this card for my May club class. And I was going to add this, but the way we designed the picture, I was afraid it was kind of take away from it. But I told them that this fits in really nice. So you could add that to your card. So it's a little, kind of looks like a little belt loop. Pretty cute. Okay, so what we're going to do today, scoot a couple of these out of the way, is I kind of fooled around and I made one that I thought we could make into a card, and then we could do something with these Memories and More cards because these are pretty simple. So what I did, I'm going to show you here, have all of my little pieces here we could use to put together. I did cut out a globe stand. This is actually from gold foil because I didn't have the other. And where's my stamp set so I can show you. So you have all these are in the dies. This one actually gives an impression. And the cool part is these are all coordinates for the different places that Stampin' Up! Is in the world. So that's pretty neat. But it has a lot of coordinating dies. So you could stamp and cut out your feather. You have your compass, both sides of the globe. So you could cut out just the globe if you stamped it. You also have die cuts of the globe. You have a, and actually the feather is a quill. So your quill and ink. And you can cut out your little ink. Has a little kind of a swirl flourish. This one I'm not sure what it does. So maybe we'll use this one today as well. And then it has a couple really nice sentiments. So for the first card, I actually stamped this ahead of time. So we'll just put this together and kind of see what it looks like. But I cut out one of the parts of the globe and I cut it out of black cardstock. And then for this one, instead of you make the world a better place, I actually masked off the U and I just changed it to make the world a better place. And I cut this out with one of the layering circle dies. So let's put this one together. What I did was I took my, and you can see the coordinates down here. I'm wondering, did I do it upside down? Nope, that's correct because the N's and the S's are the right direction. So it actually puts an impression. Try to see if you can see that. There you go. It puts an impression in the cardstock. So instead of actually cutting, it's more of an emboss thing. So I just stamped the globe kind of randomly, and I had this originally. So this piece was a little bit bigger, and then I trimmed it down. Where was this from, Rach? Maybe it was this way. There we go. I trimmed this down. So it would be 3 3/4 by 5. And then I cut kind of the rest of this out because I figured we could put this one together and then we can kind of work from there. So I might layer this behind the black foil piece that I embossed. But I might trim this down just a smidge more. So we'll figure out what we're going to do with the rest of this. And I think I'm going to put this onto a gray, a basic gray card base. So I'm going to score this, and I'm going to make this a vertical card. So I'm going to go ahead and score this at 5.5. You know what's funny? I love the Memories and More too, Penny, the card kits, but sometimes I forget to use them. I don't know why. I think I just have so many things to choose from that somehow they fall by the wayside, which kind of makes me sad. All right, so I have a hot dog cut piece of cardstock, so 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5. And then we will do the bone folder. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put this black piece on. I'm going to trim this. I think I might trim this up just a smidge more. So this one will kind of be like a quick put together card. So let me see. So this is 4. So I did 4 1/4, 4. So we'll do 4 by 5. I'm actually going to flip this upside down to cut it. This is the black foil that I embossed already. And then I'm going to trim this one down just a little bit. So we can save this piece for something else or maybe use it on the inside. So this one was 5. And I don't want to cut off the part there that has the embossed stuff on it. So I'm actually going to move this up here. So we'll do 4 3/4. And I might have to trim half and half. Let's see. So this is 3. I'm going to do a 1/4 inch here. And then a 1/4 inch on the other side. So I'm going to make it 3 1/2. Because I don't want to hide too much of the paper that was embossed with the folder. And you can even see on the other side how deep that embossing is. So if you did this with actual cardstock, what you could do is spritz it first with a Stampin' spritzer with either water and alcohol in it, and it would give a really, really deep look. So I think I'm going to put this on kind of askew. Just a little bit, I think. And then we're going to put the rest of this together. This piece, I really wonder. This maybe we'll use on our other card, as we have lots of stuff that we can use to put it together. So when you are adhering foil, I highly recommend using a liquid adhesive because it tends to stick better, especially if it's embossed. So I'm going to put some Tombow liquid glue. I know everybody's super excited about the new, I guess I should have cut this a little bit. Oh well, that's okay. I was going to say I cut this a little bit even on this side, but then this side's a little bit wider, but no biggie. We'll make it work. So I'm going to hold this down. I know everyone is really excited about our new adhesive that we have, but personally, I love the liquid glue, so I think I'll probably primarily use that. Plus, I still have a lot of fast fuse to use. But I do hear that the new regular liquid should be, or the regular adhesive should be much stronger than snail adhesive, which I was kind of finding snail wasn't holding as well as I thought it would either. All right, so there's that. So what I'm going to do before we finish this is I'm actually going to grab some basic gray. And even though I stamped this in basic gray, I'm going to sponge the edges just a little bit, just so it kind of sticks out from that black foil piece. So maybe you have some black foil you haven't known what to do with. You can save it for when you get this folder and emboss some of it. You can still save it for your Halloween cards too, though. I really did like the black foil paper. I thought it was really cool. All right, so same thing again. So I'm going to put this down. I'm going to use a good amount of liquid glue, again, because this does have some kind of ridges and whatnot to it. I want to make sure it sticks pretty well. So I'll kind of stick this a little bit at an angle. And again, I'm just holding this for a second. Hi, Deborah. Thanks for joining. I am going to give you a lot of ideas, Linda. That is always my goal. Okay, and I know this doesn't necessarily go because they were going to use the brass, but since I don't have the brass, I figured I'd do gold. So my plan was to put this behind it and then maybe kind of layer this on top. This has about a tiny, tiny sliver of the adhesive sheets that we used to carry. So I have that little bit, but thankfully we're getting new adhesive sheets, which is amazing. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue here because I want to make sure it sticks. But this would be a great stamp set to use the adhesive sheets with, because then you don't have to worry about piecing in this glue. So let's see. Where do we want to go with this? I'm going to kind of eyeball it. It's like I almost don't want to cover up this thing at the bottom, but I'm going to have to sacrifice something. So put this here, and I'm going to kind of put this at a little bit of a tilt. And then with this one, I should have put put the adhesive on this too, but put a little bit here with the liquid glue. Want to try not to get too much extra on here, because when you smear it, it kind of can make your foil look a little hazy. So I try my best to just put just what I need on when I do that. So we'll put this here. Let's see. Just like that. So if you have any glue, try your best not to touch it, because if you touch it, it'll smear it. Just kind of let it dry. It will dry clear, but try not to touch on your foil if you can help it. And then this one will actually add on with a dimensional, which hopefully I will remember to add some dimensionals, because I don't have too many of the white dimensionals left. I was on a real rampage with ordering the black ones because I was so excited that they came out. However, when you're using white cardstock, the black dimensionals will kind of show through in the back, and it kind of almost looks like you sponge something on and you have like a dark spot. So I would highly recommend. Now, if you're using thick Whisper White, you should be fine, but if for some reason you're using regular Whisper White, you can kind of see them through there. So I'm going to say, try your best to get I'd say a combo of both. So there we go. And I just went around this with Pineapple Punch, my ode to Pineapple Punch. So quick card there. I mean, I did a little bit of this stuff ahead of time, but honestly, all I did was emboss this folder, randomly stamp this, cut these couple things out. So not too bad for that one. And then you can put a white piece on the inside. So let me try this because I haven't done it yet. And we'll see. Let me see if I'm going to make sure this is cut down before I do the inside of this one. So let's see, 4 and 5 1/4. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this piece here. It's not going to fit exactly, but I'll do it at least a little bit. I'm just going to kind of line it up to the edge with a piece of purple tape. And I'm going to run this through my embossing machine just to see what this looks like. Okay, so give me 1 sec. And I am super excited about, we're going to have finally a new embossing machine, and there's going to be a regular and a mini size. I'm going to get the mini, but that's not going to be available as of yet. They're going to bring it available, but they don't exactly know when. Oh, that's pretty neat. So look at that. Makes this little cutout. So we'll put this for the inside of our card. That's kind of cool. Okay, so before we do that, let me pick out something. So you make the world a better place is what we said. Oh, how about thank you for being part of mine? Let's do that. So I'm just going to grab a block. And I think I'm going to stick with basic gray for this, for the ink. And we're going to kind of make this somewhat centered, hopefully. Not so bad. You could stamp any of these other little images if you wanted to at the bottom. You could put like the little flourish, either of these. And I'm going to do, let's see. We'll just go lighter gray, just so it's a little something, gray granite. So just a little something. You could kind of jazz up the corner there if you wanted to as well. Put these two to the side, and then we'll just put this one on the inside. So just make sure you could put the adhesive kind of down this little strip here, but it's pretty thin, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just putting it on the main part. And then we'll add this to the card. Pretty simple though, using some of our supplies that are retired. So the black foil, but I think that's a pretty nice, pretty cool card. Simple, pretty easy. So let's see if we're going to do, that one will be nice. We'll do that one. Let's do this one, and we're going to do this with a little bit something different. So how about if we outline this with black? And let me see what I have here, some scraps. That should be good. Outline this in black. And then we'll put this onto thick Whisper White. So there's a big piece of thick Whisper White. Just have to cut that in half. Oops. The other thing is you have all these little pieces left over. So let me show you one other thing real quick. If you wanted to, you could even add one of these little scrap pieces that we cut off to the top here or to the bottom, just to kind of jazz up your white page there. So I would certainly cut it off. I would kind of let it end right at the end there. Or, you know, even if you wanted to put a little bit of a fatter piece, or if you wanted to have one that ran up the opposite side. So remember when you trim your paper before you finish up what you're doing, and this one's a little bit short for that. So you could kind of evenly space it, or you could make this run across the bottom. But you always have these little extra pieces that you could use for something else. So always keep that in mind when you're finishing the inside of your cards, and you could add a little strip just to kind of make it a little bit something extra there. So cut this in half. So I scored at 5 1/2, and I'm going to cut at 4 1/4. And this one, I believe these cards are 3 by 4. Let's see, 3 by 4. Yep. So I'm going to cut this to 4 1/4, and you could even make this an 1/8 if you wanted to, but 3 1/4. I'm going to see what this looks like first. So we could do that, kind of layer that together. We have that on this Whisper White. Now we got to do something there for the background. So for the background, how about if we can put the compasses, and we'll stamp these in a really light color, I think would be really nice, and the quills, which, oops, we're going to just market these right now as, I'm going to do it as a feather. So it kind of does look like a feather if you don't see the quill up close. So what I'm going to do is, I have my base piece here. So this will be the front of my card, and I'm going to go with Seaside Spray. So I'll do Seaside Spray for the compass. Doesn't really need to be necessarily in the correct direction. You can kind of switch it around a little bit. So I'm going to go just with that for now. And then for the quill, I'm going to go with Peacock because I think it's nice. Kind of goes with it. So I'm going to keep this out in case I want to fill anything extra in, because this is a little bit bigger. And I haven't used this before, so let me stamp this off first. So 1, 2, 3. I think I'm going to go with the second and then the third. And I'm just kind of randomly stamping these. Just stamping off once first, different directions. And I have this piece over here, so I'm going to just mask this while I add that one in. That way I don't get it on the other side of my card. I think that's good. I don't want to get too crazy. And then I can always add in just a couple more of these. We'll just, before we re-ink. I think that's good. Okay, so really quickly, only because I know this is the base and I don't want to muck it up, I'm going to wipe this off. Okay, so then all we're going to do with this is we're going to put this together. You know, one other thing we could do is we could even take this piece, since it's going to be covered up, and I haven't put these together yet, which normally I do. So instead of having the tall stand, you can also use the short globe stand. So we could cut this out. Let's see. Let's try this once. So normally what I will do, and I'm going to show you this real quick, just because this is what you're still going to do. Oh, give me 1 second. I just have to find my paper. This is what you're still going to do when you get your adhesive sheet, okay? So I'm going to flip this. I'm going to move this over. Flip over to the back. Let's see if I can get this off. And I have, since we at least will have some adhesive sheet, but I have some adhesive sheet here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this on, kind of on the main middle piece there. Take a fold. So we'll be able to take the rest of this off. I'm just going to grab my snips and cut. Oop, hopefully I'm not cutting into my anything important. Okay. So here is that piece I'm going to use. So what I'm going to do is I want to put this here and this here because we're going to use both of those. We're going to cut this out because this is going to be covered. I'm kind of keeping them close in the center just that way it doesn't, nothing will show through. And one other thing I did was I ran it back and forth only because the globe does have a little bit of detail to it, so that way it'll pop out a little bit simpler. But the nice part is when you pull this off, it actually makes it a little bit easier to kind of clean the extra stuff out of because it has the adhesive sheet. So two-fold here. So here's what we did. So I'm going to take this now and I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of liquid glue, cover this up just like so, right? So that piece is totally covered now. Okay, then I'm going to peel this off from the back. So you certainly can go a little bit lower if you want to, but just going to stick this right on here. Okay, so this will be our card. Okay, so there's that. Then what you can do is you can take your, this makes it really simple. So you really won't need to do too much work. But we'll put this, actually I can put this on the inside instead. So we'll put our globe. I probably should have done a little contrast with this, with maybe a gold, but that's okay. We'll go with this one now. So we're going to take our base. Oh, you know what? Let me make sure this fits correctly first. Put that down like that. So there is the base. And then when you peel this off, which this should work this way with the new adhesive, I will double check, but it will take most of the stuff out. So really, look at that. It makes it so easy. You only have these couple little things you have to pop out. So here's a little tiny one here and a big one there. But it makes it easy because you have adhesive and all the rest of the stuff that would have normally been a pain is already pulled out. So just stick this here, just like that. Beautiful. It goes together seamlessly. I kind of like it though because it almost looks like one big die cut since they're both the same color. And then what you could do is you can just add something really nice on the inside. Could add adventure awaits, congrats on this new beginning, or just you could make this into any kind of a card, thinking of you or whatever it is kind of card. So this is another one. So it's pretty simple. So let me show you. That is 2 that we made. Let me see, time check. It's 12 after. I know I yacked a lot in the beginning, so I'm going to try to make one more card, and that way at least we can do one more thing. Let's see. Master multitasking, I know. You know what? It's kind of funny when you're trying to do multiple things at the same time. Usually as long as you don't have anybody asking for snacks, right? Somehow we can manage to make it all work. But when you throw in the person that's also saying, can you make me, can you get me, can you do, and then it kind of throws everything off. So that was the back of that one. Dare to live the life you always wanted. That one's a nice one. Let's do one with this one. Dare to live the life you always wanted. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to trim parts of this off. And I thought this would be a neat idea. So I'm going to trim a little bit of this off and I'm actually going to flip it over. So it's got 2 different sides to it. So we'll do that for the last card. And this one we'll do in, I don't know if I want to do yet, soft suede or early espresso. So in the meantime, before we get started, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. So this measures 4. So I think I'm going to take a 1/2 inch off of each of it. So 1/2 inch off the top. I'm going to put it here so I know what it is. And then a 1/2 inch off the bottom. So this will be, so I have top and bottom. And then this is going to go in the middle. So here's what we're going to do. We'll do this. I think I'm going to back it onto early espresso. And then we'll put it onto a soft suede base. You could do crumb cake as well. Actually, you know what? I am going to do crumb cake because the soft suede's looking a little bit too, what is the word I want to use? Sometimes soft suede can be a little bit of a strange color because it kind of looks a little greenish, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do, so we had this piece that measured originally 3 by 4. So I'm going to cut a piece that is, I'm just going to make it pretty thin. Let's see, if we space it a little bit, we could do, let me just look at this before I cut. So if we have this here, and we have a little bit of a space in between, and the same with this one. Actually might move that to 4 1/2. That might be a little bit too much. 4 3/8. I think I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to put top, bottom, 4 3/8. And then for this one, I think I'm going to keep it pretty close. I'm going to start out with 3 1/4. And if I need to, I'll trim it up a little bit. So this is our piece here. So this ends up being 3 1/4 by 4 3/8. Put this on the side. And this one I'm going to score at 4 1/4. And then I better move this so I don't get that everywhere. 5 1/2. We'll cut this so we'll have 2 bases. So we're just going to use 1 for today. Move that over. So this will be our base. So what we can do is we can do kind of something with the similar of the same thing. We can stamp something in the background. So let's see. If we're going to do this card, I'm going to kind of place this how we think we're going to run it. What would we want in the background? So we would say probably traveling. So I'm going to go with Adventure Awaits. And I'm going to stamp this. This reminds me of Up. Everything, I think every story I ever tell you is somehow centered around a Disney movie, but that is my life. So, and I'm going to do this in early espresso. No, I'm going to change. I'm going to do this one in soft suede. So I'm going to just put this, and I'm going to kind of go everywhere with this. Oops, missing part of it. Come on, Rach. I think I might be on a part of my ink pad that needs to be re-inked. All right, so that's the background. I'll keep this soft suede out. Just wipe this off real quickly. Anything else that would look cute? I'm going to add the swirl. Let's see, get another smallish block. We'll just add this in just for some visual interest, and I'll do this one in espresso. So just kind of randomly, I'm going to stamp the swirl. Doesn't really have to have a specific pattern. That's good. Okay. I'll do cleanup duty one more time here. If I had a wet towel, it would work a little better, but okay. So there is, but look, I forgot I was going to do this in this orientation, which it still works. Some of them are good. You can't see all of them anyway, so it's not too much of a big deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of piece this out how I think I want it, and then I'm going to glue the big piece down first. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So I'm going to attempt to do this without goofing it up. I am going to use the liquid glue because that way if I do mess it up, I have a little bit of time to move it. Go down a little bit. Pretty good. Put this here. So all we're doing basically is just using one piece of this Memories and More kit. Oops, a little glue. That's okay. It'll dry clear. And we're just cutting the pieces to kind of make it look like we have multiple pieces. Another thing you could do if you wanted to add some additional visual interest to this is you could sponge all of the edges of all of this before you put it together. Give it kind of like an old world look. I think that looks pretty even for the most part. So I'm going to give this just a second. Another thing we could do at this point, so we do have this ink here. So you could ink this. This is going to be a little hard to see because this is so dark. But you could kind of ink the edges of stuff if you wanted to. Give it like a little bit of a worn look. But if you really want to do that, what you can do is you can take your bone folder. I just wanted to make sure this was kind of set. And you can kind of rough the edge of your cardstock there. Just like that. Kind of how rough you do it is up to you. You can do both directions. You need a mat. You know what? I have had this mat for a really long time. I will tell you, kind of when it gets a little dirty, it does get a little bit more difficult to clean up. It is stained, but the staining doesn't come off. When I'm finished today with this, I will try my best to remember to put a link. I got it on Amazon. You can also get it on Simon Says Stamp, I believe. But I got mine on Amazon. However, I was considering getting a glass mat. Only because I know that one will be able to be cleaned up. But I kind of also like the cushion that I have underneath of this. So you can see that's pretty roughed up there. And then if you wanted to even more, you could kind of peel it apart with your fingers a little bit. You could separate the layers. So you could make this as rough as you wanted it to. So before we finish with this though, I'm actually going to bring, I think I'm going to bring in a little bit of this and one of those buckles. So let me see, make sure I didn't get rid of them. But this is a Tonic Easy Clean mat. So I like it a lot. But I have a mat underneath of it, which is what I use for being able to stamp with photopolymer. But I definitely like it a lot. I've had it for, I think, 3 years. So I've had it for a good long time. So I'm going to move this just right. I don't want to cover up the gap there. Although it does look kind of neat with the gap covered because it's not a whole bunch of lines. Maybe I will. All right, so I'm going to cover up. I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue here. Right here in this little gully. And I probably should have done this ahead of time to put some adhesive on the back of this. But since I forgot, oh gravy, what did I do with my, my mat? I had it out to make some cards with. Well, I don't know. Normally what I would do is I would take my silicone mat and put it down so I don't mess it up. But apparently it is out working on another project that I'm not aware of. So I'm going to just I'm going to do my best. I'm just going to run this across and then I'll just wipe up my mess that I make. There we go. Oh, nice dimensional backing in there. Not crafting if you're not adding dimensionals accidentally. So I'm going to put this here and wrap it around. Grab my snips. You don't want to pull it too tight because then it's going to make your whole project kind of bow. So you just want to wrap it. You don't want it super, super tight. And of course, when I did this side, I didn't get it down far enough. So we're going to add a little liquid glue in there to make it work. And I'm actually going to put this up on dimensionals. Oh, heavens. Here we go. I'll hold that there while I grab my dimensionals. So I'm going to use the black dimensionals, which are really nice for using anything on a dark project. That's a good idea. You bought the bigger mat and cut it in half. That's very smart thinking there, Pam. It's kind of nice because it'll give you, you know, more for your money. That is a smart idea. I'm going to put a couple of these and I'm going to put 2 in the middle just because this is a pretty big sheet. Okay, so let's pull these off. I'm going to use finally found my very, very old Take Your Pick tool, which is the best dimensional backing remover. And I only say that because it has a weird hook on it. So when I kind of got it in the beginning, I was like, man, this thing isn't as paper piercy as I thought because it has a hook. Come to find out though, it's really good for pulling the backs of dimensionals off. You could also use your Take Your Pick tool. All right, so we're going to put this here and we'll put this a little bit to the side. Kind of like that, like a little crazy askew. That looks good. All right, so there you go. Dare to live the life you've always wanted. We have the whole adventure awaits in the background. And then let's put on the inside. And I'm going to add one more thing. Oh, that's way too big. Need one of my smaller blocks. All right, put this here. Okay, so this says, congratulations on a new beginning. Then what I'm going to do is open this up. And remember, we had some of this stuff from earlier. Now, granted, I know this is gray, but it still will add some visual interest to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back out, where is it? My soft suede, and go to the other clean side of my sponge. And I'm just going to add a little bit of ink to this. So this is I think this was a gray granite piece. And I'm just sponging with some soft suede ink. So this was the leftover from the first card. Granted, not everything has to match, so it could be just kind of a little something. So with doing a little bit of sponging on that, kind of looks a little bit more brown. Another thing you could do to kind of take it a notch up too is you could even lay it onto the back of a piece. It would be better if the piece was actually a little bit closer to matching, but you could lay it on the back of a piece of contrasting cardstock. So this was the early espresso. And then you could lay this over here. Obviously trim it down if you're going to do that. Let's see which one this goes. But I'm just going to put this on the side. So if this piece was long enough to match, I would just layer this on and then put this down. But since I don't want to make you guys wait any longer, we'll put this, a little bit of glue, pop this over here on the side. So just a little piece that probably otherwise would have gotten thrown in the trash. And let me see, let me put this back on here because it's a teeny bit unstraight. There we go. All right, and we're going to wrap this up. Oh, look at that. It's even almost straight. How you like that? Sometimes I do a good job. Sometimes not so good job. But anyway, beautiful card, just a little bit of scraps. Let me move all this stuff out of the way so you guys can see what we did today. Made these 3 cards in case you came in late. I will keep you updated once the ordering goes live. I will let you know. I'm going to put those 2 since this one goes opposite. Let you know when we're all able to order. I personally cannot wait. I have a very big list. I am trying to make sure that I get all of my paper ordered for my DSP share, so everybody that ordered with me will have some DSP, which is super fun. If for any reason I end up with any extra shares, I will absolutely let you know. I did do a ribbon and a paper share. It is a lot of stuff. And if there is enough interest and I decide to do a another share later in, I will also let you know. But I think I'm probably going to just hold it at 1 because we're going to have the new holiday catalog coming out, so I'll probably do 1 for that one also. I hope you guys enjoyed these cards today. Again, this is using the World of Good suite. We used almost every single part of it. Only thing we didn't use was the DSP, but it has ribbon, it has Memories and More, it has a stamp set, it has dies, it has these little embellishments, or you have the antique corner. So all of this will be available later today. And if you shop with my online store code, you will get some extra freebies. I always do a freebie for every order, no matter what the price is, but I also have a second tutorial for $50 orders. There is a host code that is at the top of this post today that you can use to shop with. And when I get orders through a host code, what I do is I'm able to order things and give them away to you, like the Make a Splash stamp set. And yesterday I gave out the, cannot remember what the fishing stamp set was on YouTube. So thank you guys so very much for tuning in today and watching. I hope you found something fun, learned something new, had a good time, had some fun with your friends. I truly appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care of each other and be kind. Thanks for watching.